Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. Hopefully you're having yourself a fantastic day. We have a huge Commander banning. I never do videos on Commander banning updates, but Joey's shipping cards, and I was just working on buying a rather large collection, and I thought, why don't we just have a conversation about what this particular banning does in the current market. Joey, how many sales do we have right now for Jeweled Lotuses, Dockside Extortionists, Mana Crypts, and Nadu? Zero, I doubt it anyway. We lost about $800, so it wasn't, I know some other stores probably lost significant amounts of money. Luckily, we moved through cards pretty quickly in terms of the market. Personally, I do have a Masterpiece Mana Crypt, sorry. I do have a couple Jeweled Lotuses. I'm sure I lost some money there, but who cares? It is what it is. Today, I want to talk about a few things. Number one, my opinion, and then we're going to get into what I think is going to happen with the market, and then I'm going to give you an LGS perspective of kind of how I handle banned cards from a buying perspective, and also what this does to a store, because I do think that stuff matters. I know there's a lot of opinions about this, so I'm going to share my opinion publicly, and you can agree with it or disagree with it, but your opinion is yours, and my opinion is mine. So let's get into it. So first off, that's what happened. They banned Nadu, which is a card that's gotten banned from a bunch of formats and is in Modern Horizons 3. Not that surprising. It's kind of a weird one to ban, in my opinion, but not that surprising. Everybody knew it was super powerful. It didn't really affect much. Everybody is more upset about Mana Crypt getting banned, as well as Jeweled Lotus, the flagship card of the overpriced Commander Masters product from just a year ago. The best pull from the entire set, the card that is on the booster pack, got banned from Commander. And then the last one is Dockside Extortionist, which is a card that they claim has always been kind of on the horizon. I, for one, think that, so let me get into it. First of all, I think Dockside doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because the card gets significantly worse with the banning of the other two, mana rocks. So I don't really understand why they banned all this stuff all at once. I really think they should have just dropped maybe one of the mana rocks and not Dockside and see how that works. But I'm not the rules committee and I'm not good at that stuff, so it doesn't really matter. What I do want to talk about, though, is why do we feel the need that Commander needs a ban list? At my tables at the shop, and whenever I have ever played Magic the Gathering, there is this conversation. It's called Rule 0. Everybody plays by it. And why do we act as if Rule 0 doesn't exist? When you sit down at a table, you say, hey, what's your power level? How hard are you playing? How fast are you playing? Are you playing with a bunch of mana rocks? Are you playing Jeweled Lotus? Are you playing this whole thing? I feel like that has now gotten even more convoluted. All this time for the last 10 years, the conversation has been like, hey, have Rule 0 at your table. Figure out where the power level is. And now this conversation is going into, all right, are we playing by the rule list? Are we playing with Jeweled Lotus? Are we playing with all these things? Are we going down this road? Are we doing all, they're making things more complicated. And I don't think that Commander needs a ban list. I think I'm okay with the idea of like banning specific commanders and saying, hey, I don't remember what the one it was. There was like I want to say it was a white-blue angel that got banned a couple years ago. And it was like a turn 1 win in a deck. So they banned the commander. And like that kind of makes sense when things like that break. But things like a mana rock that go across the entire format and change what was a pretty healthy format in CDH, we're gonna get there in a second, and it warps the entirety of all the decks, I think is just too extreme for a casual format of which you are already saying has that Rule 0 conversation. So I think Rule 0 allows you to not have to utilize the ban list. And I liked it when the Rules Committee didn't really do anything. I liked it when they just kind of lived and existed and didn't have this kind of impact on the format and on the game as a whole. And Magic the Gathering is so focused on Commander right now. It matters so much to the ecosystem of Magic. And we're going to talk about that when I get to the LGS side and down that road. So the second kind of sideline on my opinion is all the CEDH players, we just had a huge CEDH tournament in my shop a couple weekends ago. And all the CEDH players are just like absolutely pissed. The format was good. It was fun. It was diverse. There was a lot of different decks going around, and this has just completely warped the format. And I believe like one of the most expensive deck, the blue deck, basically didn't even get like that hit by this. So it didn't even really make it more accessible. There's a Yawgmoth or Keurig Son of Yawgmoth deck that was going around that was one of the more accessible ones, and like this banning really hurts that deck because it's a higher mana cost commander. So I don't think that this, my opinion is that we need to separate commander from competitive commander, CDH. They should just separate those two things. And that's my opinion. But here's the deal. Right now, there's a ton of stuff going on in the market. And if they ever do that, things are going to recover very quickly. So those are my opinions. And I want to tell you what I see happening on the market and kind of the conversation that way. And first off, I don't care. I lost some money. If your business is so rooted in these 4 cards, I think you need to reevaluate the time that you're putting into the trading card world. We lost as a store probably $600 to $800 in cards. I went ahead and actually pulled them off of our system because I'm just going to keep the cards for myself. And then, you know, if CDH ever creates their own format and those cards go up in value again, that's when we'll sell them. I'm not going to take losses on singles. It's just not the thing that I do. But I think that at the end of the day, looking at the market, there's some wild things happening. We're seeing Jeweled Lotus, the biggest pull in the most expensive Magic the Gathering set of the last 24 months. The biggest pull is on its way to sub $20. I cannot tell you how many people come into my store, they crack open Commander Masters and they say, man, I hope I pull a Jeweled Lotus. And that just turned into, man, I hope I pull a Jeweled Lotus, to, man, I hope I don't pull a Jeweled Lotus. The attitude towards Commander Masters has just shifted radically. I think that Jeweled Lotus, not playable in any other format, I think it's on its way to like sub $10. I think you might even see like a Jeweled Lotus. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how many people think that like CDH is going to break off into its own thing. If that can even happen, I don't know if it can, but it's under $20 on its way down, in my opinion, to that kind of sub $10. Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus, both of them down. Mana Crypt down significantly. Here's my thought on those cards. As a negative as everybody's being about the banning financially, there's always cards that then replace the cards that existed before. And I know Joey told me when I was doing the little warm-up of this video that anybody who's running a Mana Crypt is also running a Mana Vault. Yeah, I get it, the CDH people that exist. But there are casual people who like having 1 or 2 expensive cards in their deck and whatever. And if they just lost Mana Crypt, I think that people may start looking towards Mana Vault as a purchase to slot into commander decks. I know it's like not the same thing or whatever, but that is something that when you're looking at this world, there's always negative in the financial stuff, but then there's also potential for positive. And so if you are in the investing and kind of buying and selling of cards, I, for one, took down our Mana Vaults just to wait till all the stuff blows over, just to make sure there's no crazy movement on any singles. I took down all the current cards that got banned. I took down the Mana Vault and that kind of thing, just to kind of see where things fall at the end of this week. And then the other one that sucks is Dockside getting banned. Man, we buy a ton of Docksides. We bought a borderless Dockside last week. Joey bought a borderless Dockside last week. Leave me a comment in the comment section. What should I give Joey to make it up to him? He works out. Look, he's been working hard the whole time. He didn't even want to be on the video. He bought a borderless Dockside last week. Leave a rip Joey in the comment and with the card that you think I should give Joey as a replacement. So Dockside, though, that sucks because it's in a pre-con, and I know the pre-con was, I think it's 2019 or 2018, so it's not new. We have them in stock here. We kind of try to keep a lot of the pre-cons in stock, but it does suck that like people who buy a pre-con can't even play with it. But again, it's old, so it's not like it's a pre-con from Duskmorn that just, you know, became non-tournament legal, but it's just another thing that I thought of. All right, I want to get into the more, I know a lot of that was LGS perspective too, but I want to go just hone in, how does this kind of thing affect a local game store? How will this affect us? And what does that mean? And I think this is the biggest reason for like, why do we need this kind of interaction into a format? Because most people are playing casual Commander. The vast majority of people, I would even say the vast majority of the average Commander player doesn't even know about this ban list yet. And I know that comment's going to get a lot of negativity on this video, but the average person doesn't follow Magic the Gathering on Twitter and isn't on all the Reddits and isn't watching this YouTube video. The average player is going to come into a Commander night or play Commander at their table. They're going to play their Jeweled Lotus and someone's going to be like, hey, that's banned. And they're going to be like, what? And it's going to be a whole conversation. And it sucks because you don't need to, in Commander, it's casual. You don't have to put that pressure on the LGS that you're about to see. And so like one of the big things is Commander Masters. Commander Masters sells super well in our store. I can't tell you again how many people are like opening Commander Masters to hit a Jeweled Lotus. And yes, there are other pulls in it, but without that big kind of chase, I'm not sure we're going to sell any more Commander Masters. And again, my whole business isn't focused on Commander Masters, so I'm not that worried about it. They'll probably buy another product, right? They'll probably spend that money on Duskmourn. They'll probably spend that money on something else. But in a lot of ways, this will end up being an even deader product than maybe it already was because of the price increase and that kind of stuff. Same thing for Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And now Lost Caverns is a little different because simply put, the supply is just not there. But I can't tell you how many people who open Lost Caverns are like, man, has a mana crypt been pulled from this case yet? And they're trying to get that card. And so that will greatly reduce the amount of sales in those specific products. Again, I think that customer probably still spends money in another way, but that doesn't stop the fact that we probably have, I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 worth of inventory of Commander Masters and Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And so it will certainly slow down and hurt the business model when you don't have people who are chasing cards from those sets. It now looks like something like Dominaria United or you know, one of those sets that people don't really care to open because you can't really get much out of it. The last side of this that's wild and is LGS related, but also to you, is Festivals in a Box. Just got absolutely hammered. Festival in a Box. Wizards just dumped, this is amazing. Wizards just dumped thousands upon thousands of Festivals in a Box. Tens of thousands, 100,000, I have no clue how many, Festivals in a Box. Each one of those with a Commander Masters collector pack and a Lost Caverns of Ixalan commander pack. Can you imagine how insane that is? You're waiting for your Festival in a Box, for your chance at pulling a Mana Crypt out of your Lost Caverns of Ixalan pack, or your chance at pulling a Jeweled Lotus from your Commander Masters pack, and you get it in today on Monday, and you open it, and you open that Jeweled Lotus, and now it's worthless. Like, that sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. And from a store perspective, we bought a bunch of this. I bought a bunch of Festival in a Boxes. Bunch of what am I saying here? A bunch of festivals in a box. I think they're Festival in Boxes. Boxi? I bought a bunch of them with the idea of like restocking Lost Caverns packs and restocking Commander Masters collectors, and that's just dead now. It's just dead. So it definitely affects an LGS, especially if you do any amount of trying to keep current product in stock. And again, I just don't understand why. Why do we need to have bannings like this if Rule 0 exists? So those are my opinions. I would love to hear your opinions. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you hate me. It is what it is. I love seeing the other opinions, and tell Joey what he's getting for a reimbursement for his Dockside. What did you pay for Dockside?
Like $100.
No, you did not. You did not.
It was rough.
Oh, have a great day, guys. Hope your day's better than Joey's. Be kind to the people around.